Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Get Crafty Photographers. My name is Christina Craft and I created this show to share some really nifty hacks, tips, and tricks that will change the way you shoot and create photos forever. As you all know, getting that film look in your photos is really popular these days. That's why there are countless presets, actions, plugins, and filters all over the internet for you to use to get the desired film look you want. So today we're going to focus on specifically how to get that fine art, creamy pastel, pinky-like film look that photographers like Jose Villa and Elizabeth Messina made popular. Now, if these names are brand new to you, you've got to go and check out their work. I've put links to them on getcraftyphotographers.com, as well as all kinds of other resources relating to this video. Go on over there when the video's done and go and check it out. Nothing is going to replace the look of luscious, real film. Nothing. But we can get close. And so I decided to nerdy out and try. Nerd out. I'm gonna nerdy out. The thing is, you have to start with the capture. You can't just apply a film preset over your images and just expect it's gonna look perfect. You have to start at the very beginning with the capture. And so today I'm going to show you a photo session I took with a fantastic photographer. Once again, the link's on getcraftyphotographers.com. Her name is Madison Boltadano and she's a photographer out of Costa Rica. She's fantastic. Go check her work out. The links are in Get Crafty Photographers. We went out and did her family portrait session, and I intentionally photographed her session with the idea in mind that I was going to post-process her images with a more fine art film pastel look. So here's what I did. First of all, I shot wide open. My aperture was at f2.0. Yes, very wide, soft, shallow depth of field. I wanted that soft look, right? And second of all, I overexposed by almost one full stop. And I did that because I want a little bit more light to come in so we can fill in some of those nice highlights with some of those pastel film look grainy stuff that we're gonna add to our images. You see, film photographers like Jose Villa, they actually overexpose on film by about 2 stops, sometimes even more, I hear or I've read. The thing is, we just can't do that with digital. With digital, our highlights will completely blow out, there'll be no details in them, and it just won't look good. So the most you can really push your overexposing is probably by about 1 stop to get this look. The rest of the tweaking needs to be done in Lightroom. Another thing you can try, and it's all going to depend on the light, is to actually add the grain in camera. I'm not as much of a fan of adding the grain in Lightroom or in post-processing. I would rather have the grain come out in the camera. So, you might want to start at ISO 400 or even ISO 800 to try to get this look so that you can get it as much as possible in camera without needing to tweak it too much in Lightroom afterwards. So let's take a look at what we can do in Lightroom to enhance these pictures even more. If you're like me, you've probably been very attracted to some of those film presets or filters that you can buy online. They vary in prices, as we know, from $30 to even $500. And I thought I would take a spin with some of the ones that I personally own to try to get this look and to compare and contrast what kind of effects we can get. So I've put all the compare and contrast images online on my website, Get Crafty Photographers, and you can go click on the link. It's also in the description below, and when the video's done, you're welcome to go over there and check them all out. First of all, we're going to try Tribe Archipelago. They don't make a specific, this is the film we're trying to replicate film presets. Instead, they do kind of a mishmash of stuff. Their effects are beautiful. So we're just gonna try one, the one that I picked out that I thought gave the best kind of pastel images that you can get from Fuji Pro 400H, which is the film that Jose Villa and a lot of the other fine art film photographers use. We're gonna try this one first. And I'm just going to click on it, and you can see that it has reduced the highlights on a lot of the sliders and also reduced the whites. So here it is reset, and here it is with the Archipelago LXC01C. That is from their action set, now, or on their preset set. We're going to do a Y for side by side. I was really looking for that creamy pink soft pastel look, and I think I achieved it pretty well just by clicking just one time on Archipelago LXC01C. Now the next preset set I'm going to try are from Totally Rad, and Totally Rad makes this awesome film preset package collection called Replichrome. What they have done is they have gone and every single film that they have replicated has been scanned by 2 different scanners, and then they've created film style presets to imitate both using a Frontier scanner and an Aritsu scanner. Pretty darn cool. So I'm going to show you the Frontier Replichrome, the 400H, which is the exact film I was trying to replicate. And here you can see it with Frontier. I'm going to click reset, and we're going to go over to Aritsu and see what it looks like. Quite like that as well. Next, we're going to look at VSCO, which, as we all know, you've probably heard of VSCO because it's the most popular Lightroom preset out there. And I chose specifically from their 01 film pack, the Fuji 400H. So I'm just going to add that here. And I think that this actually really created a really nice effect on it. And last but not least, we're going to go to the geekiest of all geeky film presets, and those are by Mastin. Now, Mastin isn't just trying to replicate film for digital photographers. He actually created his stuff for people who are hybrid shooters, people who actually go out and they shoot with a film camera on one hand and a digital camera on the other. So when they're trying to pair them up, he wanted to make sure that the colors matched exactly for the film that they were using. So he's only developed it for a few very select specific films, and the one that I happened to buy was 400H. Because I obviously like 400H film. What you have to do with Mastin Labs is, I'm gonna come over. He's made it for Canon and for Nikon. So I'm gonna come over because I shot with Nikon, and you have to choose the base first, and then you decide if you want your highlights hard, or you want your highlights soft, or if you want it all hard, or if you want it all soft. You can add extra grain after the fact, and that's also pretty cool. Now, the one thing I did want to say once again about grain, I'm not a huge fan of these things kind of adding grain after the fact. I like to have a little bit more control of the grain. So if I haven't created the grain inside my camera to a way that I really like, then I will come down and I will come down to the grain effects, and I will delete the grain, or I will just kind of zoom in, see what the grain looks like, and get it to just where I want it, and then I'll sync that grain across all the photos in the collection when I'm done editing. The one extra bonus thing that I think is so cool, especially if you're a geek like me and you bought every darn preset on the market, is that you can come over here to the camera calibration, and you can see that all of the profiles for each of these film presets that I bought are here in my film calibration. And if I wanted to, I don't have to actually change the highlights, contrast sliders. I can just leave my image alone. And if I want to, I can actually just change the film color just slightly by choosing any of these camera calibration things. And what it's going to do is it's going to completely change. Ooh, I don't like that. It's going to completely change the color of your image. So here, I'll just go through. Now, this is on reset. Absolutely none of the sliders have been chosen. And you can just see, you can just change the color merely. There's camera flat, there's Portra 400 Frontier, Fuji Reala 100. Come down here, Portra 160, we got you camera vivid, you got all your stuff in there. So I think that's kind of a really cool thing. One last note before we conclude. If you're really trying to get that fine art film look, the pastel look that a lot of those photographers use these days, you have to keep in mind that they shoot with a 4x5 medium format Contax camera. I don't own one. I'm trying to get these results with my film camera, with my Nikon DSLR. So my aspect ratio with my Nikon is 2:3. And that means that I've got more of a horizontal landscape kind of image. Now, a 4x5 Contax is going to be more like a 4x5, which is an 8x10, and it's a little bit more square. So before I exported all of these images, which are going to be shared on getcraftyphotographers.com, along with, like I said, all of the examples showing before and after and everything like that, I actually went in and I cropped 4x5 as an aspect ratio to all those pictures so that it would even more so get that fine art film look I was going for with this shoot. All right, so we compared and we contrasted different film presets to help you figure out what was going to give you that fine art film look that was made popular by Jose Villa and Elizabeth Messina. Once again, if you haven't seen their work, you gotta go check it out. Come on and visit getcraftyphotographers.com. More resources and information are on there, way more information. So please go on over there and check it out. Join our Facebook group as well, where you can ask questions and get involved and meet other photo geeks just like you. And if you have been taking some really cool, experimental, awesome photos, doesn't just have to be fine art film look photos, please hashtag your images with Get Crafty Photographers on Instagram. We want to see what you took. So that's all, folks. Get crafty.